Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. Senator, I'm very grateful to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here. I'd first like to just ask you for your reaction to this move, to Mike Waltz being basically sent to New York, no longer being the national security advisor, and what that says about where we are.
Sure, Casey, it's great to be with you. Look, what we've been seeing in the economic policy space from the Trump administration is total chaos, tariffs up, tariffs down, the economy going down. And what we're witnessing in the national security space is the similar kind of chaos. This administration just doesn't know where it's going. Of course, candidate Trump promised that he would end the war in Ukraine on day one. He would end the war in Gaza on day one. Instead, he's thrown the Ukrainian people under the bus. And in Gaza, the hostages have not been returned, and we have a humanitarian disaster. So this administration, it's not America first, it's America in retreat. And we're just seeing the results of that chaos both at home and abroad.
Your colleague, Mark Warner, used the word brutal when he was asked by my colleague Manu Raju earlier today about a potential confirmation hearing for Mike Waltz. How do you think a confirmation hearing for Mike Waltz might go, and would you vote for him for that position?
Well, I look forward to the hearing, but count me as a skeptic based on the positions he's taken in the past, and also the fact that a lot of these nominees say one thing at the hearing, but when they get into this administration, they do entirely the opposite. So, for example, Secretary Rubio, when he was here in the Senate, he supported a U.S. foreign policy, based on values, on human rights, on democracy, on freedom of speech. But as Secretary of State, he allowed Elon Musk to mow down AID, and he's essentially become the student deporter in chief, violating students' First Amendment rights simply because they believe in the First Amendment for speech that they like, but not other speech. So I've been extremely disappointed in what happens to these nominees once they get into the administration, and so it's hard to trust what they say at the hearings.
Senator, I want to turn to another issue that, of course, you have been so focused on. You traveled to El Salvador to speak with Carmelo Abrego Garcia, the man who was mistakenly deported from, you, of course, represent him as a senator from Maryland. And now it has been acknowledged or it has been reported, I should say, that there has been a request for him to come back, and El Salvador has said that they couldn't. Do you believe that the President, Trump, could get him back if he would just ask for him back?
Of course he can. Don't believe a word you hear about, the Trump administration trying really hard to get him back and the government of El Salvador saying no. I met with the Vice President of El Salvador. They said the ball is in America's court. They said the only reason they're holding him is that the Trump administration is paying him. And if you had any doubt about the answer to your question, just ask Donald Trump within the last 48 hours. He said he could pick up the phone on the Resolute desk and call El Salvador to bring Abrego Garcia home. So the President of the United States has admitted this. The administration admitted in court that this was a wrongful detention and deportation to this terrible prison. And I do want to emphasize, and I've said this before, this is not all about one man, Abrego Garcia. It's if you violate his constitutional rights, you threaten them for everybody who lives in America.
There also was a ruling today from a federal judge, a Trump-appointed judge, actually, that the use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport people from Venezuela who the administration alleges to be part of a gang is not allowed. What was your reaction to that? And it only applies to a small slice of the country. It doesn't apply nationwide. This ruling, should it?
Well, the logic applies equally no matter what part of the country you're in. And the idea is it's a total abuse of the Alien Enemies Act to claim that what we're experiencing here in the country is an invasion, right? Like from a foreign government. And this was a judge who just looked at the facts and said, no, you can't do that. Look, the Trump administration is trying to dredge up these old laws and misapply them across the board. I mean, they've also done the same thing in these cases where they're detaining students for their speech. It's not a question of whether you like their speech or don't like their speech. They have a right to free speech. And the Rubio has dredged up this McCarthy-era law, the McCarran-Walter Act, trying to claim that these students exercising their speech is somehow a threat to U.S. foreign policy. And it's clearly a ruse simply to squash their free speech rights. So no matter where you look, this administration is violating statutes and the Constitution, including, by the way, when it comes to tariffs, right? Abusing their authority under the Emergency Economic Powers Act to do things they're not legally empowered to do.
Of course, if you put all of this to Republicans, particularly, strategists or others who are trying to win elections, they will say that in some cases, Democrats are falling into traps they think the Trump administration is setting for them, defending illegal immigration. This has been an issue that the Trump administration has been strong on in polling. People have said they support those policies. Do you think Democrats are falling into those traps in any way?
It's never wrong, Casey, to defend due process and the Constitution, right? It's Donald Trump who's trying to change the subject while he's facing a 9-0 ruling from the Supreme Court to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia. And again, I want to stress, we're not defending the person. We are defending their rights to due process. And all the surveys I've seen, all the polling I've seen recently shows that the American people stand for protecting people's constitutional rights, because they very well understand that it could be them next who sees their rights violated. So what I've seen, Casey, is actually a lot of public support to stand with the Constitution. I'll tell you, many of my Republican Senate colleagues will quietly tell me they're very disturbed about the fact that the Trump administration is thumbing its nose at the federal courts, including a 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court.
All right, Senator Chris Van Hollen, thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time, sir. I hope you'll come back.
Of course, thank you.
All right, coming up next here, new CNN reporting on who might become the next